Hey gamers, this is Rob from Zborgaming, and this is my first weapon guide for the weapons in Modern Warfare. And I'm going to focus on the SKS here. This was one of my favorite weapons back in the Battlefield franchise, and I was excited to see it come to Modern Warfare. So let's go ahead and get started here. And going to go through a variety of information here on the SKS. So this is a Season 3 weapon, was released in the Battle Pass at Tier 31, and the max level is 53. As far as our rating, this is what we consider the top tier weapon in the marksman rifle category. As far as attachments, I have them all listed here, as well as all of the unlock levels for all of the attachments. And note that the SKS does not have any rear grip attachments. If you want to go through later and take a look at all the unlock levels, feel free to just pause the video here, or I invite you to go to our website, zborgaming.com, and we have a whole section on weapon infographics that you can take a look at, and the SKS is included there. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have the camo requirements, and this is standard across the marksman rifle class. As far as the base stats, the base damage range is anywhere from 0 up to about 50 to 55 meters. The reason I say 50 to 55 is because I get my information from a variety of sources, and they seem to conflict, but for the most part, it's right around that 50-meter range. So headshots within that range will do 100 damage. Chest or upper torso will do 57. Stomach, which is essentially lower torso, 52, and any limb shots will be 48. So this can be either a 1, 2, or 3 shot kill depending where you hit your target. It has a 20 bullet mag size and a fire rate around 330 RPM. The ADS speed, again, this varies between sites, is around 0.23 to 0.28, which is still quite fast, especially for a marksman rifle. And the reload time is about 1.5 seconds. Sleight of hand really does not have a substantial impact. You can run it, but you're not going to see a huge benefit as far as reload time. We have a couple of loadout suggestions here, and I'll go into those a little bit more on the next page. The high accuracy setup we actually did a video on, so go ahead and take a look at our other videos on our YouTube channel. We have a video there on how to turn this SKS into a laser accurate weapon. So on our next page, we have a couple of these loadouts listed. The two that I have here, one is more of a mobility loadout, and that includes the monolithic suppressor, the 16-inch FSS parabarrel, the tack laser, the sawed-off stock, and the 10-round mags. Now this is a substantial amount of mobility for this weapon. You could probably take off the 10-round mags and put an optic on and still be in really good shape, probably a reflex sight. The high accuracy setup we have below, that Commando foregrip tack laser and SKS rifle stock, essentially takes all the idle sway out of this weapon. So it becomes very accurate at mid to long range, and you can see that in that other video I posted. Some additional advanced statistics here, which I'll go through that weren't highlighted on the other page. The movement speed is about 93.5%, which is quite standard for the marksman rifles, but very good overall. The ADS strafe speed, 45.5%. And the sprint out time is fairly standard here at 284, but this tactical sprint at 450 is quite slow for this weapon, so be careful running around really fast. As far as the specialized attachments for the SKS, the FTAC landmark barrel will increase your damage range by about 20% with some minimal impact to your ADS speed. The FSS para will increase that ADS speed, or actually lower it. They'll make your ADS faster, as well as gives you a little bit of a movement speed boost, except it comes at the penalty of some bullet velocity, and what that does is actually reduces that damage range. So it's going to take that 50 meters and drop it by about 15% down to around the 40 to 42 range. Now with a marksman rifle, I wouldn't really recommend doing that. You want to keep that damage for as much distance as possible. So that last barrel, the 22-inch FSS M59 barrel, will increase your range by 35%, but comes at quite a substantial ADS as well as movement speed penalty, which you can see here. Now, as far as the ammo, the 30 round mags obviously increases your ammo capacity, but really does not have any impact to your ADS speed and only comes with a 1.5% movement speed penalty. If you put the 10 round mags on, this is actually quite a unique attachment because it not only lowers your ADS speed, it slightly reduces your tactical sprint speed, makes your movement speed 2.5% faster, but there really is very little change to your reload, even though it says that you get reload quickness. If you want to look for more information about these weapons, two resources that I use quite a bit are the Xclusive Ace. You can find him on YouTube, as well as Mutant Media. They have an app that they put out which has a ton of information on all the weapons in Modern Warfare, and I highly recommend taking a look at their page. So we did some recoil testing here with a couple of the underbarrel attachments because there is quite a bit of visual recoil with the SKS. And so you can see here that our first recoil test shows the pattern, and we did this test on Candor Hideout in the corner over by the propane tank. So we usually back up to this section here and shoot against this wall. So the next test I did was with the compensator only, and you can see that we got a nice tight recoil pattern with very little vertical or horizontal recoil. The Merc foregrip performed about the same, a little bit more overall vertical recoil and a little bit more spread than what the compensator had. And then this was just a secondary test of the base recoil, and the pattern looks fairly similar to the first test. So in general, either the compensator or the Merc foregrip will help with your recoil, but the SKS overall has fairly minimal recoil to begin with. Now, if you choose any sight of about a 3 times magnification or higher, you will notice a lot of idle sway in your scope. So in order to offset that, you want to use attachments for aiming stability. So the best attachments we found were the combination of the compensator, the tac laser, and the SKS rifle stock. So those three together will pretty much eliminate all of the idle sway. Now, this image we took here was using those 3 attachments from the complete opposite side of the map here on Candor Hideout from where we were before. So this is probably about a 40-meter range, and that is the profile that you can see from 20 bullets at that distance. So it was quite a nice pattern. So if you're looking for the highest accuracy possible loadout you can get with the SKS, we definitely recommend running the tac laser, the SKS rifle stock, and the Commando foregrip. As a 4th attachment, if you want to go for that increased accuracy, we would add the FTAC landmark barrel. For a 5th attachment, if you don't want to use the barrel and you want to use an optic instead, for 5th attachment options, you could run a monolithic suppressor for the stealth. If you want some increased agility, you could add the 10 round mags, more ammo, add the 30. And if you want even faster reload speed, you could add sleight of hand, but in this case, it's probably not necessary. So with that, I hope this information was helpful. I appreciate you watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more weapon guides coming soon.